What's up, Van Dam fam? It's been a minute since we've gotten together on this kind of platform. Well, hell, I have a story for you today. You know, all these Rvdology episodes I've done, one common link they all have is it's about reprogramming yourself. It's an important step in the process of growing. A lot of people don't seem to bother or they skip over it. I don't know, man. Did you ever read The Four Agreements? That book? A lot of people are familiar with it. That's exactly what that book is about. You, as an adult, making these four agreements with yourself that will change your perspective and your life because you're in a different place than you were when you first got your values and you were told what to believe by your elders. I mean, think about it. You know, ignorance was bliss when you were a kid. There was Santa, Tooth Fairy, superheroes. As an adult, that kind of has to change, doesn't it? Likewise, as a kid, I was told that marijuana was the most dangerous drug. But I learned with my own research that was bullshit. Now, a lot of people aren't interested in knowing about that, and that's fine. You don't have to grow in that area if you don't want to. How about you ever hear don't talk to strangers when you were younger? How fucking hard would it be as an adult to function without talking to strangers? That's the cashier or the Uber driver or whoever you're checking your bags in or whatever your lifestyle does to put you in the presence of strangers. You get it, right? You ever heard this one? There's never an excuse to hit a girl. Okay, what if you come out of Home Depot with your hands full of planters and tools, and some crazy lady comes up with a knife and just starts stabbing you? You're not gonna hit her because you were brought up that way? Come on. I mean, the move might be better to drop everything or hit her in the head with a planter or grab her wrist. You have to be in that position to know the best thing to do. It's quite possible sometimes it would be the best move to hit her. And if you're going to let Santa Claus keep you from doing that, you're stunting your own growth. I talked on here before about a big fight at the country bar that I worked at in Tampa, the Wild West. I was accused of hitting a bride in this wedding party, which ended up not being true at all, but people didn't even care. People were lined up at that redneck bar just to say, "Hey, I don't even care. I don't care what the story was. There's never a reason to hit a woman." Well, that's ignorant, I think. And I also think it's ignorant to not reprogram yourself. And you know, don't panic. Reprogramming is easy. The first step is just being aware. The more you're aware, then the more you can point out, and the more you can realize and recognize, and then the more it becomes apparent, and then the more it naturally, in a very organic way, applies itself in a larger part of your life. So there you go. You know, think about what I'm saying. Think about all the values I shared with you here, and whatever sticks out to you. If you think about that, recognize throughout the day some of this stuff. Do you ever catch yourself saying, well, I wasn't brought up that way. It's just the way I was brought up. It sounds so ignorant from this perspective. So basically, just like all of my Rvdology values, this is about reprogramming yourself. All right. How about this? Did you ever hear this? Don't let anybody disrespect you no matter what, son. Anybody ever heard that? Or maybe even something similar to it? Maybe. Hey, you don't let anybody say anything about your mama. You punch him right in his mouth, right? You don't let anybody disrespect you or your family without getting a 5-knuckle sandwich. That's the kind of stuff that I would have heard when I was young. And I've heard it repeated on, from people at different stages of life. I hear it passed on from older people to younger kids to give them their values. And you know what? When you're a kid, you don't have the consequences that you have when you're an adult. So it's different. If you're a first grader and some bully is picking on you and your parents told you punch him in his mouth or her, I'm not going to argue with that. The bully will think twice about picking on you again. Maybe that's not bad advice. That's not the advice that I'm giving here, but I am saying as an adult, you can't react that way because you can get into trouble. See, I believe in karma, but karma and justice are not the same thing. Justice isn't guaranteed. Now, fortunately, I did have a little piece of justice, and this is part of what I want to talk to you about. You know, it's a crazy world, you know. I talked on my podcast about WrestleMania weekend in Los Angeles when I saw somebody pull a gun out downtown at a traffic stop. I don't know about you, but I've seen dozens, if not hundreds, of videos on Instagram of people getting shot. Yes, I follow the ask for special permission to follow the real violent graphic pages. Sometimes I like to see how it really looks. I like to be aware of the real world so I can watch out for it. What I'm trying to help you with today is to help you watch out and be aware so that you don't fall for some of life's pitfalls. And luckily, the only gun was on a tattoo, and allegedly it was for some kind of positive inspiration. But I don't want to get ahead of myself here. You know, I was listening to Shane Douglas's podcast today. I like it. I like Shane. He was saying, he was talking about wrestlers and anybody famous, but how there's always fans that want to like pick a fight with you because they think that if they can get you to hit them, that they can sue you and get a bunch of money. And well, it's a fact of life. It's a fact of life that I think goes along with the business. Pretty much. So I have been going through something. Let's classify this in the you never know what someone else is going through category, because for 4 years I've had this total scumbag chasing me with this lawsuit that progressively, slowly worked its way to materializing into a deposition, into a trial that finished this week. I feel like I need to talk about it because his lawyer plugged my social media, and he told 12 of my peers that RVD can't wait to go on his podcast and his Instagram and social media and talk about this. And you know what? I have wanted to share this story for a long time, but now I feel obligated since his lawyer plugged it for me. So thank you. But more importantly, thank you, jury. I'm glad you guys saw through the scam. Justice isn't guaranteed, you know? Now, I thought his lawyers were pretty bad. I thought his whole case was bullshit. They were trying to frame me. The jury did see through, but I didn't know that was going to happen for sure. When I say I believe in karma, I think the universe takes care of good people and bad people. But justice isn't always there. You can't count on that. There's too much room for error. There's too many innocent people that are behind bars. There's too many people that are in trouble for things that they didn't even do. And so because of that, you got to stay one step ahead by being aware and looking out. So let me tell you a little story about this gentleman named G. Douche. Okay, now G. Douche grew up wanting to be Drexel from True Romance, Gary Oldman's character. If you don't know who that is, you're probably most people. If you do know, you're awesome. True Romance was a classic Tarantino movie. Gary Oldman played Drexel. And anyway, this was the inspiration for our character, G. Douche. Okay? G. Douche wanted to be Drexel. He wanted to be famous. He wanted everyone to talk about him. He wanted the cool rock and roll lifestyle. Look at this guy. He was inspired by pro wrestling. In fact, Kane and Undertaker remind him of him and his brother. Is that not sweet as fuck? G. Douche is a real heart stealer, I'll tell you what. So I met G. Douche under some not enjoyable circumstances. Basically, he picked a fight with me, didn't like the results, which you're looking at right there. Or maybe he did like the results. Maybe that is what he was after, because after he got what he wanted, he turned into the love bug. He loves everybody. Homies for life, man. Everybody's all cool. But then G. Douche goes and gets some ambulance chasers to build up this case, and they go and get these doctors and plastic surgeons to make up some bullshit so that G. Douche can get his nose done, get himself some fresh new titties, everything. He's ready for RVD to buy him a house. And for 4 years, this has been going on. Since 2019. In case you're having trouble with the math. So, as of this week, I had several days in court looking at G. Douche. Not pleasant. And I had a jury of 12 of my peers listen to everybody's story. His guys were bad. His case was bad. He got the bottom of the barrel. I couldn't believe. I didn't think the jury was going to buy anything that they said. They contradicted themselves with pointless arguments that they thought was so good that they repeated the fuck out of the same pointless arguments to everyone's boredom. And in the end, They tried to frame me. Why? G Douche wanted my lifestyle. So the lies, the false testimony, the manipulated doctor's records that contradict the emergency room record from the first night all helped me put this behind myself. So, the jury awarded G Deuce just what he's worth. Just what he's worth, and that's a big zero. Now remember though, afterwards, he loved everybody, right? Here's a picture of him and RVD. We're best buds. His lawyer would even say to me, hey, don't take this personally, man. We're just doing our job, and then turn around and then boom, and then talk about me having anger issues and being a big bully, maybe being hit in the head. Dude, they threw so much shit at the wall that didn't stick. Anyway, after 4 years, after several days in court, I'm able to finally put this behind me and say that, G Douche, you thought I was going to buy you a house, man. He rented a Tesla thinking he was going to celebrate and party on his way back. Thinking him and his lawyers were all going to be partying and drinking champagne. But that's not really what happened, though. Or did he win? Because here we are talking about him. And really, G Douche just wanted to be famous. That's his dream, Look how excited he is. They're doing a very familiar pose in celebration. Well, G Douche, I hope that you're out of my life. And for everybody else, I just want you to know that, karma is one thing. Karma is a beautiful thing. But justice isn't guaranteed, so just be aware, be vigilant, try to not fall for some of these traps, because what if my lawyer would have sucked ass like his guys? What if some of their bullshit would have convinced the jury? What if they would have believed? Even though that's kind of hard to believe they would believe this guy. Gee, douche, you were so dumb. Anyway, if you want to hear me talk a little bit more about it, I'm going to talk about that on my podcast. Some of the details of some of the things. There was very entertaining moments in the courtroom. G Douche should probably be trying to sue me for defamation right now, but he probably has to get another legal team since they had their asses handed to them. Although they might just be the kind to go and double down. I don't know. But like I said, thank you so much, jury. Thank you to my lawyer, Scott Meehan from Los Angeles. Rock star who was able to pull out all of their bullshit and line it up beside each other so that you knew, in case you didn't know before, that there was nothing here but a scumbag trying to take my life with a shortcut. G Douche, you gotta have some talent to be a superstar. You can't just rub elbows with famous people and then take their shit. But for everybody else, be careful, be preemptive in keeping yourself from getting into situations like this or like any others. You know what I mean? Maybe we're not talking about G Douche with you. Maybe we're talking about getting a girl pregnant at the wrong time. Maybe we're talking about committing a crime with your friends when you know you should back away. Whatever it is, bro, Van Dam fam, can you dig it? Can you relate? Because that's all I want, man. This is another Rvdology. Talk at you soon.